A very pleasant good evening to you as we welcome you to the Storm Report, Season 3, Episode 9 on this glorious Arizona day. It's the 30th day of October. We are smack dab in the middle of fall weather. I'm your program host, Kevin Derryberry. Ed Cole is my broadcast partner. He's on the other side, and we look forward to an action-packed program. The Halloween edition, it's Halloween Eve, if you will. Tomorrow's Halloween, and of course, as I just mentioned to our esteemed panel here, Miss Cormier and, of course, Ed Cole, we are competing with the 119th edition of the World Series. Arizona is taking on the Texas Rangers at Chase Field. Place is going crazy at Chase Field, but we got a lot of excitement right here tonight. We're going to talk a little soccer as we discuss things with head coach Gina Cormier, now in her first season as the bench boss for ACU women's soccer, and we'll be joined by a couple of women's soccer players as well. And segment 2, we'll be joined by Jayme Notgrass as well as Cadence. Peroff will be here with us, and the big thing is I pronounce the name Peroff correctly, so we have a little gallery here, and we're getting some well wishes.
Yeah,
so we're excited.
Cadence, she likes that.
We're excited about that.
She's dancing.
So Cadence Peroff will be with us. And also, we're going to talk a little round ball. We're going to talk a little hoops with Jeff Rutter. Coach Rutter's been on the campus now for 12 years. We're going to talk a little basketball with the number 3 ranked team in the country in the NAIA. That's a preseason ranking. But without further ado, Ed Cole, how are you, my friend? Good to have you back.
Katie, good evening. Coach, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Coach Cormier now in her first year. Kind of an interesting setup for you, Gina, because you were on staff last year. You've been around the Valley for a long, long time. But all of a sudden, after some great conversations and some prayer, you are now the head coach of ACU Soccer. And what a whale of a season for you. Your inaugural year, 10 wins at program best. Congratulations for you.
Thank you. Congratulations to the players for earning that.
No question about that. We have 2 players here that we're going to talk with in a minute. But, Coach, when we talk about cultures, it comes up all the time. But if people just aren't aware what are some of the things that you've done to instill this winning belief here on campus, what are some of those things?
We've established the culture, worked on it from the very beginning, and even during preseason, we prioritize building that culture. All the players know that they are a part of one family when they play for the team. I know that they feel they have a genuine commitment from the coaching staff and then a genuine commitment to each other. I've established that everybody has a voice on the team, and they have an opportunity to impact their team regardless if they are a game changer or if they are a starter that plays all 90 minutes.
Coach, obviously it's a different role for you being an assistant coach last season and then elevating to the head coaching role. How have things gotten different from one season to the next as far as you having more responsibilities? Everything's really elevated for you, and you've got your team in a playoff position, and you're going to take on Menlo this weekend, and you're going to open up the playoffs. So how have things come really full circle and come really quick for you?
Yeah, they have come quick, but it's been a lot of fun, a big blessing to me and my family to be kind of thrown into this role a couple of weeks before preseason. But big things that have changed is just having the opportunity, and I really say that because it is an opportunity to be able to guide and direct the program to a new level of soccer and a new level of understanding the game that these players are challenged with every day. I try to create, Coach Gibbs and I try to create a culture of competition at training, but it's a supported competition. The players know that they are earning a position on the NAIA roster every single week, and that having the chance to be the leader of this program allows me to grow in my role model abilities, I guess. And it's been a big prayer of mine to just be able to lead well. And we bring in a lot of the upper level pieces of soccer, meaning bringing in what the U.S. soccer team, our U.S. women do, what our professional level does, and just allowing the players to see that when they're done playing at ACU, they don't have to stop playing soccer. They can continue to earn a living playing at the next level too.
We are visiting with the head coach, Gina Cormier, of the ACU Women's Soccer Program. Just picked up 10 wins, the most ever in program history. Coach, Ed had kind of alluded to it, but we've got the opportunity to host the GSAC tournament for the first time coming up here soon. I want to ask you about that in a second, but if you would, I noticed that your team you scored 31 goals, you allowed 21, 4 shutouts on the year. If you were selling season tickets to our fan base, what would be some of the things that you would be kind of selling? This was a question I had for Coach Rudder, so I'm going to have to change my question up for Jeff Rudder. But, if you were trying to sell this sport and we were trying to attract fans, what would be some of the things that would be, entertainment words or buzzwords or things that would attract the fans to come see this excitement and enjoy the success that you ladies are having?
Energy, resiliency, intensity. There's been a couple of games early on in the season where we were ahead by 2 goals, and yet we needed to earn what consistency meant. And so sometimes our opponent did get a goal on us, but we remained firm and we were able to still walk away with the win for those games. Mm-hmm. But these later games that have been in conference, I would say exciting. We have a lot of momentum going forward in our attack, and we have some players that can really hit a ball and can find the back of the net. So it's fun to watch them be creative. And that's a part of the culture, too, is just allowing the players to feel that freedom on the field to express their soccer personality in a way that helps them and their teammates to be successful.
I got to ask a secondary question. You talk about bending a ball, or actually you talk about can really hit a ball.
Hit a ball.
Is what you said. I know we were talking to some of the fellas a few weeks back about the ability, the incredible athleticism and the talent that some of these student athletes have. Now, are these ladies bending the ball a little bit too, where they're hitting the top right corner from 60 feet out? The talent is kind of, it's incredible. It runneth over a little bit in some cases. We see the fellas doing that. Are the ladies able to do that as well?
Yeah, 60 yards is a bit of a stretch for
40,
us, but 30. We can hit a 50, 55. Two players can hit those pretty consistently. A defender and then a goalkeeper. Goalkeeper on her punch, she can hit it to almost the 60-yard, past the half by 10 to 15 yards. So don't tell our opponent, but that's definitely part of our game strategy.
Is that Taylor or Brenna?
That's Taylor. Brenna does an excellent job when she's in there, and same with Emily, but Taylor is the one that creates that distance.
Speaking of Taylor, she's got her 3rd Defender of the Week honors this week, and Kevin mentioned just 21 goals in 15 games. So clearly defense is one of your mantras as far as your team is concerned, right, Coach?
Sure. You've got to have a strong defense. It's interesting, though, we have one less in the back than a lot of our opponents, meaning we play with one less defender than a lot of them. So to be able to put up stats and for Taylor to be recognized with only what looks like 3 players in front of her is pretty outstanding and speaks volumes of her talent level.
Is that by design to have one less defender?
It is, so that we can try to get forward a little bit faster.
I think that's pretty incredible that you have multiple winners in the Golden State Athletic Conference.
Yeah.
And there's some peers that are those are peers that are coming up with these awards. They're making those selections. So when you might have made a selection and picked one of your own players as well if you're in that balloting. But to have others make those selections for you, it's got to give you and your staff and your entire program a pretty good feeling. Getting notice from your conference peers.
Yeah, it definitely does. But Josh and I have talked to the players almost every single week. It's putting a target on our back. So those stats are excellent, but you can tell immediately when the game starts. You could tell on Saturday who the players are that are being targeted, and they're receiving a bit more of the fouls on their bodies. One player in particular, but that's how our game goes, and she's strong. She can take a lot of hits, but you can tell when those stats are being read by our opponent and they're trying to use that as a tool to get ahead of us.
That's also a sign of a program that's ascending upwards,
and
too,
we're turning
right?
heads, which is what we want to do. So,
Coach, can you see the ladies being locked in more this week? As you know, Saturday's kicking it off. You're the 3rd seed. You're hosting the GSAC championship. Menlo's coming back in here again. You played them a month ago, so you're pretty familiar with the team that you're going to face. Are these ladies locked in as you get these last few practices in before Saturday?
Yeah, we did like I keep going back to the word resiliency, but we had 2 home games that we did not do well enough to get the result we wanted. We lost 2 home games, and ever since then, we have built this trust within each other. We had an excellent baptism last Friday. We had 7 players and 2 family members get baptized, and it was just incredible. And since that happened, we just have this new energy, this new life. I hate to say that because it's a pun, but this new life within the team, and it's propelling us forward, and the energy is high right now.
Coach, a lot of the words that the young people are using to describe things, it's a good vibe, right?
It is a good vibe.
You guys have a good vibe, Coach Cormier. I'm curious, when you
it's a buzzword.
to kind of elaborate a little bit on your style a little bit, take us through like a practice, a game day, a regular practice. We'll start there. Are you a clipboard type? Are you a whistleblower? What is do you pace up and down the sidelines? What is a typical day of coaching for you? How does it start and how does it finish?
Or, Coach, are you the type of coach that just lets the ladies do their thing and you jump in when you need to?
I'm more in that style, that I watch and let them know what we expect from them at the beginning of training. Again, and we've gone back to this since August of this is a competition, this is time to show, but it's a safe place. I always tell them, hopefully the players know this, but have let them know practice, training is a place to make mistakes. And they should feel the freedom to make those mistakes at training so that the games are easier and they know what's expected. We have a huge document that the players hopefully at this point know inside and out of what their roles on the field are, so that when we get to training, it's second nature to them. And then when we get to the games, it's a repetition they've been practicing and practicing. But yes, I am definitely the one that stands and gets involved when needed, but again, I feel it's the freedom that the players get to have and the joy they get to have. Nobody likes a coach that just tells them exactly what to do every single play. But
now, Coach, are you setting anything down and then get on the field and demonstrating things?
At times, but they're better at it than I am at this point, so I might embarrass myself if I try to take a shot like Cadence or do a defensive play like Jayme. Like, you'll see.
Kev, go ahead and ask your question. Otherwise, I'm going to steal it. You know the question I'm going to. We talked about it in the pregame.
Oh, really?
About all of her career, what she's doing right now outside of this program.
It has to
look at her bio.
Something to do with being the associate head coach of the United Women's Soccer FC Arizona. Was that it?
Yeah. Oh, there's more to that. Keep reading.
Okay.
She's done a lot more than that.
Arizona Olympic Development Program.
Head coach of Boulder Creek High School. She took them to a championship last year.
Yeah, Boulder Creek head coach.
Yep. She got her B license with the United States Soccer Federation.
Yeah. I was going to ask her about her favorite Halloween candy, but
okay.
Go ahead. No, it's up
Almond
to you.
Joys.
No,
I toss it up to you.
Oh, okay. No, it's we have to ask that one to everybody. It's just everybody, every panelist,
of course,
gets that. So anyway. Yeah.
But, Coach, with all these accolades, how are you able to balance all of that and balance having a husband and children at the same time?
A lot of prayer. I have a great family. My mom and brother live here also, and so they help out with my kids a ton. And my brother is the best uncle, and my mom helps out. And my husband, he's a professor at ASU, but his schedule allows for him to support the Firestorm family as much as he can. And God has just provided all these opportunities to grow in my coaching and to have it be a pathway for the players. I think each one go hand in hand with each other and help this program to grow. So that's why I do those other ones.
And are there certain things that you pick from coaching all of those 3 or 4 programs that you implement into this program, or do you kind of basically just want to make this your own, and then every other stop that you're at right now, that's your own?
No, I think the ODP, those are the younger kids, and so I want them to be able to come, and some of them do come to our ACU games, and they've gotten to meet some of the players. And then UWS is just an opportunity for them to play during the summertime. I know two of our seniors will come play over the summer with us, and then they'll get the opportunity to be exposed to pro scouts to play overseas or play within the U.S. So they all help each other, but focus is to have ACU be that it is that program that helps others.
Coach, my final question for you. I always ask the players this in many different cases, but for you, who's the most intense player on your team, and then who is the player that kind of keeps the ladies kind of loose and laughing and giggling? Maybe someone's bringing the music to the table. Describe those two players, because I always ask the student athletes that, but I never ask the coaches that, and I'm sure they're going to be different answers. So because we do have players here, it'll be interesting to get their reactions.
And I was going to ask you to talk about Jayme and Cadence. Talk about those two young ladies and what they mean to your program.
Okay.
Are they two of those motivators? What are they?
Definite motivators. Jayme is the one that is going to make us laugh because of her music choices.
Oh. Okay.
She is a great addition as a freshman to this program, and she just brings the joy. Like, you see this smile on her face. I know the viewers can't see it, but this smile is on her face 24/7. Win or lose, playing or sitting on the sideline, that is the face that you see. She brings calmness to the team in the form of prayer. I know that when I look at her and I'm like, Jayme, I need you to lead prayer this morning, she just is locked and loaded, ready to deliver a message. And then Cadence is a leader. She's a leader on the field. She's a huge part of our formation. And when she's not there, she has this presence that goes without needing words, pretty much. And she can hit a ball 50 yards. So necessary on our team.
Cadence Peroff, she can hit a ball 50 yards. That's impressive.
That's very impressive.
All right, that is, you know what, Gina?
It's
amazing that yes, your time here on the main stage is coming to a close here. You did well. It was fantastic.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Energy to the table here, to our set. We're going to talk a little more soccer. We're going to talk about the young ladies that Coach just mentioned right there. Jayme Notgrass joins us, and Cadence Peroff will be on the main stage here. And it should be noted real quick, for Jayme Notgrass, she's from Farmington, New Mexico, where Coach has some history there, but there's no connection on the linkage on how she got here. So we'll just got to watch another show to get the rest of that story. Anyway, thank you for watching, Coach. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, more of the Storm Report. We welcome you back inside the Tower Grill on the campus of Arizona Christian University. I'm your program host, Kevin Derryberry, and my broadcast partner, Ed Cole, is on the other end of the main stage. And joining us here is Cadence Peroff. Cadence all the way from Spokane, Washington. All right, and then Jayme Notgrass from Farmington, New Mexico. You already knew that because you were locked into this show from the very outset of the broadcast. Ladies, we welcome you in. And we just had your head coach on. What was it like watching Coach Cormier talk about the Lady Firestorm here, getting it done with the most wins in school history with 10?
I think it was actually really nice to watch her just kind of first off go first so we could get a really good example of what to do on here.
Sure.
But it was
Seeing
just
is
really,
believing, right?
Yeah. But it's just really cool to see just from an outside perspective, like when we're not on the field or in the locker room, to see what she thinks about the season and what she thinks about the girls and where we're headed. So it's just really good to see and hear.
100%.
Different perspective, huh?
Yeah.
Ms. Peroff, your thoughts?
I mean, I completely agree with Jayme. I think being able to watch her and just hear about, how she thinks of the team and the girls on a personal level, I think is amazing.
Did she give us the most intense one, though? We know that you kind of keep everybody loose with the smile and the music, but do we get the most intense lady on the team? Did she answer that one?
No, I don't think so.
What would you say? Who do you think that teammate is?
Personally, I'm going to say Noemi.
Noemi?
Yeah.
Noemi's,
because she is she's always locked in and always pushing us, even at practice, even kind of when we're goofing off. She pulls us back in and gets us focused.
Got to have that.
Got to have it.
Yeah.
So, ladies, this is both your first year. You come in and you're immediately paying dividends. You're making the playoffs. You're going to play Menlo in the playoffs on Saturday. How exciting? Cadence, I'll start with you, then Jayme, I'll go to you. How exciting is it for you to come in your first year and you've won the most games this program's ever won, and you're hosting the GSAC championship? Cadence, start with you, and then Jayme after that.
I think, coming in as a freshman and seeing the stats that they had previously, it was definitely hard. But, we're in the playoffs, and we've obviously beat so many records this year, and it feels so amazing to just have these wonderful ladies on the field with us. And just, going through the transition with all my freshmen, and obviously Gina has just been a great experience for me.
Jayme?
Yeah, I would agree with Cadence too. And I think one big thing is seeing like the leadership of our seniors, we call them legacy ladies. They've just been such great leaders for us. And I think us as a 5 freshmen, and we have 6, 7 seniors, I think it's kind of just a nice example for us to see what we can hopefully keep going in this program. It's been great to see the success. And one huge thing is, seeing the records of previous seasons. We've wanted to change that, and I think us as a freshman group, but our whole team as a whole, we've wanted to make a shift and change things for the better. So it's been really good.
And that's pretty empowering, right? Your first year, you're here to make an impact, and you've done so. So congratulations on that. It's not easy. Certainly in the GSAC conference, one of the tougher conferences to play soccer, any athletic endeavor, the GSAC is at the top in competition or competitive fare, if you will. I'm curious for you, Cadence. Excuse me. Yeah, I got that right, Cadence. My question is Pops, your dad played for the Zags, right? Your dad played for Gonzaga. He played soccer. What's that influence like? Was that your only influence in soccer? Is that how you became a soccer player, or was there another way that you were introduced to the game?
He definitely started, just passing the ball to my feet when I was like 3 years old. So he's definitely been the biggest influence, and he's coached me for like almost my entire life, except my past couple years in high school. I was in different clubs, but he was definitely that one person for me. And him playing at GU obviously sparked a little thing in me. I'm like, well, what if I were to play at GU as well? But it didn't work out, and I think he's super supportive in my decision, and just having him as a role model and an influence in my life has been great for me.
And just for people that don't know what GU is, that's Gonzaga University.
Sorry, yeah.
And that's also right in their backyard, which is Spokane. So just connecting a few geographical dots is all we're doing. Jayme, for you, what was the roots for you playing at the lower levels, and how did your path before ACU prepare you for your endeavors here at Arizona Christian?
So pretty much like any normal kid, get put in to play soccer, and my sisters, they played soccer when they were little, but they were like, no, this isn't for me, and for some reason it stuck with me. Soccer is the only sport I've ever played in my whole life competitively.
Okay.
And I think just kind of I come from like a smaller town, not a lot of huge opportunities. I didn't want that to like stop me. I wanted to continue to go further and go. It's always been a dream to play college ball, and so it's been really good. High school club was really, really good for me, and it was such a great opportunity to be able to come here and play for ACU.
Cadence, for you, playing 90 minutes the other day against the Masters, a 1-0 game. Walk us through that game. That was a pretty intense game to end the season and propel you guys to the playoffs. Talk about that victory. It was just another one of those nail biters that you've had all season long.
Yeah, I think we all went into it just knowing that we were going to work our butts off and just push through, the pain, because obviously we played Vanguard on Thursday, so we were sore, we were in pain. So I think just being able to go out there and get the results that we needed was amazing. It was definitely a stressful game, especially in the last, I would say second half when we're up 1-0, and they at any time they could, tie and make it 1-1 game, but I think we pulled out, and it was amazing just to be able to celebrate that with the girls.
When you get to your final game, it's the 15th game of the season. You say, is it more of a mental push? Because as you know, like you said, you got some bumps and bruises. It's 15 games of hardcore soccer. Is it more mental than physical to help propel you and push you for 90 minutes to get a victory like that?
I definitely think it's a mental game. Obviously, physically we're sore, bumps and bruises everywhere, but to be able to push through that and just move forward it's a mental game for sure.
5-2 in conference play. We mentioned a couple of times now you're going to host the GSAC tournament here this weekend. What are some things that you can take away from your mid-season experiences, Jayme? As you've played these teams before, you're going to get Menlo again. You've beaten them before. Are there things that you can take away from those regular season contests into this postseason?
Yeah, I think one big thing has been us watching film. Any athlete knows that. Watching film is just a great way to see what the other team is doing against ourselves, or maybe that's against another opponent. And then another big thing is, yes, we have played them before, but that doesn't mean anything. One thing is we take one game at a time, and yeah, we may have beat them 2-1 last time, but this is a new game. It's a new time in the season where we have to, no matter what past has brought us, we have to keep going, and we have to keep showing that, like Gina said, with resilience, and I think our team can pull through with that.
Jayme, when you're watching film, what are some tendencies? What do you look at in yourself as far as your game and what you want to improve on from game to game?
Yeah, I think one big thing is just kind of just reading the game. A lot of people say, don't weigh on your mistakes, but I think you got to look at your mistakes sometimes. I think that's a healthy thing to do. And don't, drown yourself in sorrow over them, but you just got to keep being like, okay, what could I have done better? And as you watch that, you just got to keep remembering it when you're in the game or in practice. It's like, okay, this is one thing that I needed to fix. And I think one other good thing is when we watch it as a team, because that's when we watch film a lot, is we can pause it and we kind of discuss it as a team, and seeing it from other people's point of views is really good, because you kind of can see from other outside perspectives of what the team may need, So, yeah.
Jayme, the style of play that you play and possess, what is that? Describe the style of your game.
I'm a big passer.
Okay.
I like to pass the ball away. I don't like the ball at my feet. This girl, super good with the ball at her feet. Great passer as well, too. But I just kind of want to give the ball to other people. I want to make plays. I want to be creative with the ball.
You're a facilitator.
Yeah, I like to make the field look pretty with the ball.
All right.
And that's how I've always been. And so yeah, it's been. I hope I've been doing that.
So you're the Chris Paul of the soccer team. Facilitator.
Yeah, I guess you could
like
say
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kate, my last one for both of you, really. What's it like having a teammate like Cami Mercado, someone that you can rely on, someone that you know that if you need a big goal, that there's someone on your team that you can look down that bench if you're in a timeout or you're just watching the game, that you give her a chance and your team has a chance? What's that like?
I aspire to be Cameron Mercado when I'm a junior or any time throughout college. She's just a beast out in the field. Again, she gets fouled a lot because she's obviously has a target on her back. She's scored most of our goals this season, and she's amazing with the ball. She can just push the ball up, get everybody forward in the attack. She's again, she's a beast on the ball, and I love that girl so much. I'm just watching her. I get caught watching all the time.
Coach Cormier mentioned that. She said that now with your success that different ladies are being targeted. Did you see that right away with Cammie? Like, okay, they're trying to take her out every single match?
Yeah, 100%. I think the first couple games, I think teams had to notice what she can do, but once we got into that third or fourth game, there was definitely a target on her back. They were trying to, at that point, they were just trying to take her out. Not even going for the ball, just clipping from behind.
Wow.
But I mean, she got up every single time and would got back at it again and would beat 4 more players and then score, and it was just like, wow, this girl's crazy.
And
That's outstanding.
And then what it does, it speaks to the depth of the team that Justine can be the game. She can get the game-winning goal against the Masters.
Yeah.
You don't always have to have Cammie come up and score goal after goal every single game. It can be a team effort as far as assists and goals. It can come from anywhere, couldn't it?
Right. Yeah. No, 100%. I think obviously having them up top is such a blessing because they could just push the ball forward, but I mean our 7-11 can also whoever's playing out there, they can serve crosses in. We have girls who can really get a ball out of the air and head the ball. Alyssa, Mercado, Cameron, I mean they all can get the ball out of the air and head it in. So yeah.
And some ladies that can kick the ball 50 yards.
Yeah. That too.
I'm a big set piece person. I like to see goals scored on set pieces.
Oh, yeah.
That's an awful lot of fun.
Yeah.
That is Cadence, Peroff, Jayme Notgrass. He's still at Cole. I'm still KDB, but we wish the ladies well. They've got a big one this Saturday. A lot going on campus this weekend. We encourage everybody to come on out and support these student athletes. We got hoops at noon, and we'll see about other sports on the weekend. But a lot happening here on campus. Again, thank you, ladies.
Thank
we
you.
wish you
Yeah.
well.
Thank you, ladies.
against Menlo, 11 o'clock. The face-off, right? Face-off at 11 o'clock at Firestorm Field. ACU Football Field is what we call it. All right, thank you to Tim Gosen. Brand new haircut, looks sharp. All right, we're going to talk with Jeff Rutter on the program.
What's that about?
Right ahead. Straight ahead. Happy Halloween, everybody. Welcome back to the Storm Report. Kevin Derryberry alongside Ed Cole. And the man in the middle, our next guest for segment 3, is men's basketball coach Jeff Rutter. Now in year number 12, Coach. Is that hard to imagine?
That is hard to imagine. I feel like I just moved to Arizona.
12 years, baby. That's tenure. You've got to be one of the longest tenured coaches in the conference now, I would think. Close
yeah,
to.
I think I'm probably 3rd or 4th.
No Johnny Moore anymore? There's
no
guys
John
like
Moore,
that?
but Vanguard and Hope, they've been there a little longer than me.
Well,
I'm 3rd.
First and foremost, let's be honest. A great year last year, preseason number 1. But this year, you always turn the page. New guys, new blood, new coaching staff. Some new guys. We added Kevon Williams to the staff. Look like
Yep.
in the picture. That's going to be a huge addition for your staff. But number 3 in the NAIA coaches poll, preseason poll. That's pretty cool. Congratulations on that. It's a nice recognition for a very esteemed program.
Yeah, and that's all it is just we had some success the last few years, and so it's shown a little respect for that, and we've got some returners. So, but everybody's kind of guessing at this point who's gonna be where.
Of course, with all that success over the last 3 years, no national championships, does it feel like it's unfinished business for you, Coach, even with all the success you've had, at least over the last 3 years?
Yeah, we want to maximize our abilities and do the best that we can do. And that's certainly a goal of ours. That's not something we talk about, but it's certainly, we want to win every game. So we want to keep getting better, keep advancing in the tournament, and put ourselves in position there. There's a lot that goes into that. Like I've in my coaching career lost in 2 national championship games, and you obviously need to be good enough to get there. You need to be good enough to play any style you're going to see there. But then a lot of luck and things have to go your way as well. So I think the goal is just, be a team that can get there consistently and be a team that can compete against any style. And there's some drastically different styles you're going to see, whether it's, someone from the GPAC or someone from the Frontier or someone from, the Heart of America, whatever conference. Like the game is played differently, so drastically differently all across the country. So you need to be good enough to be able to kind of adjust and do what you do well, regardless of who you're playing, and put in a position to win a championship. So, which we've been in that position, and some, it just hasn't fallen our way yet, and we're gonna keep knocking on that door and see what happens.
You're getting close. I mean, you're really getting
Very close.
Let's be honest. 7 out of 9 NAIA national championship appearances, 5 straight. We've had coming off 2 years removed from a program best 31 wins. So yeah, you're definitely knocking on the door, and it helps to have some returning starters. One that starts, right at the top. You get Trent Hudgens, and I like Micah Blackwell. Just the athleticism that he brings, and just his warrior type mentality. And I remember last year, I think at one point he was literally helped off by a couple coaches, maybe a player. Did not expect to see Micah Blackwell in the lineup the very next game, and Micah B was lo and behold was back out there in the lineup, and it didn't look good. But just the mindset for Micah Blackwell, it just seems like he gives you and your team another level of success.
Yeah, all those guys you mentioned, the guys that are basically returning starters, Trent and Dennis and Micah and Paul. Both started most of the year, a good chunk of the year last year. Mike is great. He's impactful on both ends of the court. A lot of those guys are just very good, not just good shooters or good in a certain skill, but just really impacts the game on both ends. And that's not, the nights when the shots aren't falling. Like, it's nice to have guys that are still making plays and doing the little things that add to winning. So, yeah, Micah, sacrifices his body out there. He's flying around. He can guard just about anybody and
plays above the rim,
on the floor, getting up off the floor. Yeah, he covers it all. So, but he was a defensive player of the year last year. I think you could have given that award to Trent. Could have given that to Dennis as well. AJ. Like, we had a lot of guys that were deserving of that. But I think Micah's versatility to guard everybody on the court, whether it's a big physical, 6'9" guy, he can handle that, or a quick point guard and everywhere in between, he can keep those guys in front of him and bother them and do a great job defensively.
Coach, who are some of the younger players on your team that you're looking to step up this season that you're excited about coming season?
Yeah, mentioned those 4 returners, and then James Berry and Dominic Gonzalez. Dom's in his 4th year and James in his 2nd year. Those guys will have increased roles. Those guys have won a lot, have gotten better, and keep improving, and had big games for us last year, and I expect them to take another step further. And then we like our recruiting class a lot. We've got a really good group of freshmen that we're excited about that I think are good enough to help us now, and certainly be leaders in the program in the future. And then we've got a handful of transfers that we're real excited about that, are expected to make an immediate impact. And, we do have a lot of guys back, and that's great. And guys that have, are leaders and have won a lot of games, but it is a new team and a lot of these new guys, and it's just going to take a little while to understand our level and how hard you have to play and how you got to compete for every possession and how important execution and all these little things that don't add up in a box score, how important they are to winning. So that just takes time to learn, and they'll get thrown to the fire here on Friday.
Yeah.
Get the first lesson.
And you'll never complain about the not having too much depth on your basketball team, right?
Yeah, and we really, I think this is a very deep team. I think we're deeper than we were a year ago, but we kind of missed that a little bit last year. Like, we started the year thinking we were pretty deep, and by the end of the year with all the injuries and things that we had to absorb, we felt like we're missing one or two of our guys that weren't able to play at the end. So, so we want that depth, and practices are great and competitive and bring out the best in each other, and that's important. But you just never know what you're going to face throughout the year.
Coach, when you look back and you reflect on a season and a career, if you will, 250 career wins for you, Coach, that's very impressive. I know you'll dole out some praise to a lot of family members and other coaches and great student athletes over the years. But that's, a lot of that is part of your direction, your leadership, so certainly well commended for that. But when you have been around the game for so long, when you look at the next year, when does your brain start to tinker with the mindset of, do I want to do anything different, or do you go in and we're going to do things almost consistently the same way, but you'll just fine-tune things there, or do you go into a new year saying, I'm not going to do this year, I'm going to do this year? How do you keep your brain and your mind fresh on the approach for the game?
Yeah, I think my core values, like, those stay the same. My philosophy of what wins stays the same.
Okay.
But it may take a little, I want to learn and grow and get better every year as well. Mm-hmm. So I spent the summer learning, even if it's just a teaching point on a certain technique, right, or a certain drill or something, like, just how do I teach that better? How do we do that a little bit better? What are little twists to things we've done well in the past that we can add to it to make it, just a little bit better, or people are defending it this way, what would I do differently? So we're always tinkering with those things. And then I think through the preseason, we play a lot, and you kind of sit back and just observe what do some of these new guys, what comes naturally to them, right? And what are they already good at? How did they score at their junior college program, or and so some of those things we'll want to put guys in what they're comfortable in, and put them in their best, chance to be successful. So it morphs a little bit every year based on, and then even just dynamics. You take a Kevon and a Bryce and an AJ and a Sean Wallstrom out, and you might run the exact same play and it just doesn't work anymore, right? Where that group just grasped it and it was great for them, and it might not be. So there may be stuff we ran 5 years ago that we haven't run for a few years that we put back in just because this group's just a little bit different. So every group, so many guys similar, and so we certainly want to continue to do things that are good for them. But every group's different, and you got to be ready to adjust and find a way to put each guy in their best chance to be successful. So that's kind of what the preseason's been for us.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you had a question, Kev.
I was agreeing with Jeff.
Okay, I'll agree with him too. So, Coach, the success over your career here, over your 12 years, how has that aided you with your recruiting from season to season?
Well, I think we sell the experience. So we sell that you come here, you're going to compete in meaningful games, you're going to play one of the best schedules in the country, because we like to play as many good games as we can get, and our league's great, among the best, if not the best. So that's a big part of it. So if you can paint a picture of, hey, we've been successful, we've been in these meaningful games, we've been playing late into March, frequently. There's no guarantee, but past success is a pretty good indicator of what your experience is going to be. So I think that helps. Guys want to play in those games, and and do that. So that's something we talk about a lot, just that experience.
Coach, not too long ago, an NAIA team, in fact, this past week, beat a Division I college program, so we know that it can happen at the NAIA level. It's a underrated brand of basketball. I can attest to that, being around the program the last 10 years. But what do you like about your schedule going into this season, Coach?
There's not really many nights off at all. I mean, we start right away with Rocky Mountain, who's I think they might have been receiving votes. They're a national tournament team. They came on last year and lost by a basket to Montana Tech, who's very good, Elite Eight team, and they're expected. I think they're picked second in the Frontier, and they got a lot of guys back, most of their team back, and they got 2 legends on the bench too now. They got Coach Drykosen, who's got a national championship under his belt, and then they added Steve Keller, who retired from Providence and moved over there. So
nice get.
2 legends on the yeah. So they're very good, and I expect them to do very well in their league and compete with Montana Tech for that title and play into March. So and then Carroll, same thing. They got a lot of talent, brand new coach, so a little bit of mystery of what we're going to see on Saturday, but a lot of talent. A couple really good returners, a couple. Former NAI players that have transferred there and some Division I guys. So
they're always formidable. That.
Yep. Always very good. And then, it seems like everyone that's talking about teams that are up and kind of the hot teams they ended up on our schedule. So that's Eastern Oregon, LC State as well, where LC State went down to Arizona and had a lead with maybe 7-8 minutes to go in the first half at U of A and competed really well.
That's remarkable.
Yep.
Well coached, and those guys will give you a battle every time.
Yeah, they were in a Final Four just 3-4 years ago. I mean, they're a great program that's going to be tough on the road. And then Eastern Oregon, ACU alum is coaching there, and got to the national tournament last year. And word is they're better this year than they were a year ago. So that's going to be an incredible road trip. Bushnell's another one that is everyone's kind of talking about being good. The Cascade Conference is up this year with so many guys back. A lot of injuries last year. A lot of those guys are back. So that's going to be a very good conference this year. And then our trip to Tennessee is going to be a good one as well. Cumberland, playing in Tennessee, and then Union's been, flirting with 30 wins pretty much every year the last 10 years or so. So
top 5 in the country, what else, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Another ho-hum game on the road. And you wouldn't want it any other way, Coach, right? You want to play the best competition in the country, and that will only prepare you for, the ultimate goals, and that's winning a national championship.
Yeah, for sure. And we had that last year. Really last several years we've played an Indiana Wesleyan and a Grace and College of Idaho. We ended up winning the title. Like, we've played Montana Tech. We've played all these teams that are top 5 programs, and it prepares you for the national tournament, so you're not shell-shocked when you get there and see the talent levels and different styles. We want to play different styles too, so that we're prepared, with whatever the draw may be if you're blessed to get to the tournament.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned that in the postseason, you're going to have to be versatile. You're going to have to play a different style of game and win a different way. In most cases, right? You just there are not a lot of teams that are similar. Now, in the Frontier Conference of football, and you've probably seen a lot of this, Coach. We've had a time in the Frontier Conference. Yeah. Great exposure, tremendous conference, but a lot of teams are built the same way. So a little bit of adjustment for Coach Bowen as we move forward there. But we know that the Frontier Conference and all the conferences that you play, and you mentioned the Cascade, they're all going this way.
Yeah. Yeah, the West Coast is very good this year, and well represented in the poll. I think we have maybe 3 teams in the top 7 or 8 from the West, and a lot of depth. GSAC is going to be very good. Frontier, Cascade, all going to be very, very good this year. And not to leave out Calpac, Antelope Valley, who we met in the tournament. They've reloaded and are better than they were a year ago.
Always competitive.
Yeah.
And they gave us fits in the postseason as well.
Yep.
Tough schedule, but at least looking at the last 7 games, you got 5 of them at home, and you play really well at home, so that's going to serve you well come mid to late February.
Yeah, all of our conferences in the second semester in January on this year, which I like. That won't be that way all the time. Just with some of the transition, it ended up that way. I really don't like playing meaningful conference games in November, December, which we've had to do at times. Mm-hmm. So that from that standpoint, that's great. Where we're going to be so much different of a team in January than we are now, as will everybody else. But that's seeing some of the scores already and some of the teams playing, and we're got our hands full for sure.
Coach Rudder, number 1 in the GSAC preseason ranking, of course. What are some teams that, besides Ottawa, we know that Matty Keeley's team is always going to be a great team, but the GSAC, as you mentioned, there are no nights off. It doesn't matter who you play, whether it be Life Pacific or Jessup. Coach Jessup's going to have a new coach this year too. Yep. So what do you like about the conference, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, there's the teams that are a little more predictable, right? That have finished really high last year with the same coach back, a lot of the same players. That's Masters and Hope, where they finished I think Hope finished third and Masters second. And Masters had some injuries down the stretch that, probably limited them from making a run at the national tournament. But they've got most of that team back in a very good recruiting class and fared very well in their exhibition games already. So I think they're loaded and very worthy of their – I think they're 15th nationally, or they're somewhere in that top 15, top 17. And then Hope, is always coach.
Check.
Yep, Check's been there a long time, and so their style is very difficult to play against. They're always, going to be very disciplined on offense and work for a great shot, and always really, really hard to score on. So they have some of the same guys back in a good class as well. Ottawa, great run last year. Lost a lot, but, the cupboard's not totally bare. They still got the same coaching staff and a couple, 2 or 3 key pieces to their team, but had a real good recruiting class too. So some unknowns, right, with some new bodies. And then you run into, Vanguard's got a little bit of turnover, but a good class, but, lost their 2 all-conference players, and Jessup, new coach. I think Menlo's probably a sleeper that, they were looking like as good as anybody in the conference for much of last year, then just fell off a little bit at the end, but a good chunk of that group back too. So I think it's the best Life Pacific team they've had there. He continues to add talent around his
always a great
his son, who's very
team.
good. Yeah, and they've got a little more size and athleticism. So
Coach Cook.
Yep. So I don't know if I mentioned everybody or not, but that's
we didn't mention
pretty
San Diego Christian, but I'm not sure if Coach
San Diego's out
Cosby's
this year.
Okay, I didn't see them, and so I was wondering about
Yep.
that. We know that certainly at the end of baseball season they had a lot of challenges over there, so I wasn't sure
Yep.
how their athletic program was recouping, if at all.
Yeah, they won't be in the conference this year. I'm not sure what the future holds for them. But it is a very deep, the last several years, only 6 make our conference tournament, and with a week to go, teams, there's a game between third and not making the conference tournament. I expect it to be like that again.
Coach Rudder, my final one for you. What's it like adding Kevon Williams, one of the elder statesmen, a veteran player that did so many things, broke a lot of records, a true floor general, a guy that you could rely on and put in any different role, and you know that you're going to get someone that you could rely on. What's it like having Kevon now on the bench in a coaching role?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to have him. He's been this is his 6th year with us. He's won more than 130 games, I believe. He's winningest player in ACU history. Just knows how to win, make the play. He's got a brilliant basketball mind. Really sees things, and he'll remember plays that we ran 5 years ago. He'll remember plays that Westmont ran 5 years ago and what they called it, and just kind of sees those things. So great resource for our guys.
Sure.
He's great one-on-one with our guys. He's overseeing our development program and our development league and doing a great job with that, really taking ownership of it. And so I think he's very bright and has got a bright future in coaching. Hopefully it's here for a while.
You always have a knack to find those coaches, and here's just another one along those lines.
Yeah, we got a good staff. Got a real good staff. Yep, Coach Peters is back another year, and Coach Myers, and Coach Van de Zand is in his 3rd year with us as well. So.
Yeah, that was going to be my question about Kevon. He's coming fresh off your program, so why not get him at this most opportune time? A lot of the players still know him, and he can easily relate to them and vice versa.
Yeah, and I think wisdom would tell you be careful about someone that was just on a team joining a staff. I actually like a little bit removed, but Kevon was different. If the maturity and love of the program, some of those things were special, and it just seemed like the right time. So I kind of went against my normal rule on that, and it's worked out great so far.
Coach, we probably don't have, I know we don't have time for it, but if we reflected and go back to the list of coaches that you've given a chance or an opportunity along your impressive tenure, it's an impressive list. You really have developed some great coaches. They've gone on to do bigger and better things. And at the end of the day, you're still into the people-building business, and that's got to make you feel pretty good that you've given the opportunity and people taking advantage of those opportunities you've given them.
Yeah, we've had a long list of great coaches come through, and I had great coaches that I worked for that gave me a lot, and I got my hands in recruiting and scouting and day-to-day prep and all those things, so player development and all that. So I think that's how that's how I was prepared, just getting to learn everything and not really having specialists, and then that's been what I've tried to do with some of my guys. So there's a long list of them that have left here and gone on and done great things at all different levels.
It's our treat, Coach. It's our treat. Ed, what do you else? That's it?
That's it.
The Halloween edition, the World Series edition, has come to a closure here. The Storm Report for Season 3, Episode 9 for Payne Moses, Tim Gosen, all of our outstanding guests here for Gina Cormier, Jayme Notgrass, and Cadence Peroff, and for head coach Jeff Rudder, for Ed Cole. I'm Kevin Derryberry. Happy Halloween, by the way. Coach Rudder's favorite Halloween candy is candy corn.
Ugh.
Ed is a, what was your candy corn?
Milky Way.
Milky Way. And,
Candy corn, Coach?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Tim, favorite candy before we check out? Anything chocolate, for Tim Gosen, and for Payne Moses, he was a Sour Patch dude. So we'll go with that. And he also did come back with, say, Mike and Ike, so we'll bring that to
What's
him.
yours, Kevin?
Great question, Ed. I didn't think anybody was going to ever ask me. What is my favorite go-to Halloween candy?
Hope it's not candy corn.
And, I
No
probably
offense, Coach.
I'm good with a Reese's. I'm good with a Reese's.
Oh, yeah.
I can't go wrong with a Reese's. Until next time, so long for now. Thank you to everybody.